Up next, we have our IEX Talks. These 6 presenters will highlight the ingenuity and power of innovation in creating real value and impact for VHA employees, academia, industry partners, and the veteran community. These presenters are actual employees of VHA who work on the front line, and they will share their experiences that challenge our beliefs, stir the imagination, tell a great story, and most importantly, demonstrate how their innovation is reimagining healthcare to improve the total veteran experience. You will hear topics like the future of point-of-care biofabrication at VA, using simulation and technology to train staff and improve veteran care, and much, much more. And now, to kick off our IEX Talks, we'd like to show you a video from Bryn Cole.
It's one thing to read about veteran stories. It's an entirely different thing to sit on their front porch and look into their eyes as they tell it to you directly. We've spoken with hundreds of veterans, and one that comes to mind is a young man. We sat on his front porch, and he was telling us that he was fine, but all of the cues that we were picking up on said otherwise. Stories like this, veterans like these, are exactly why we have set out to reimagine veteran healthcare. COVID changed so much. For all of its horrors, it provided an opportunity for the VA to really, truly understand areas that we could transform and change for the better in the years to come. Through the course of this work, we have connected with over 250 humans to try to understand what the VA could look like for the future. And what we found are 3 specific opportunities. We can redefine the initial encounter, deepen ongoing customer engagement, and extend the envelope of care. When I say redefine the initial encounter, what I mean is making sure that we're reaching out proactively to engage service members before they even leave the military, to welcome them into the VA, to welcome them into their new role as a civilian. Another opportunity that we heard was related to deepening ongoing customer engagement. We must start thinking of solutions that help tailor back-end experiences that allow employees to provide seamless, responsive information to veterans regardless of where they are. And our final opportunity area, extending the envelope of care, means creating agile solutions like mobile pop-up clinics or home visits or peer-to-peer veteran care to meet the needs of people when and where they have them. Despite some pockets of success, veterans are asking for change. And not only are they asking for change, they are telling us what they need, and we need to listen to them.
I think I'd make it easier to get myself into the system and then make it clearer so I knew exactly where to go and for what.
For one, I would make it more convenient and easier for veterans to access care. And I would also make community care more widely available.
I would change the urgency in which veterans are taken care of and how quickly their concerns are being addressed.
We set out to design for all veterans. We had a specific focus on connecting with the unenrolled, the disengaged, and the underrepresented. We set out to understand who it was that the VA would need to be in order for them to see themselves reflected in it, as a part of it. Healthcare is becoming increasingly available on people's own terms, and we need to be thinking through ways that we can create that same experience for our veterans inside our own system. If we fail to take action on what we have heard from our veterans, from our employees, from the horrible impacts of this pandemic, then I fear that we will not remain relevant in an ever-changing world. The future cannot be controlled, it cannot be predicted, but it can be shaped. And through work like this, we have the opportunity to be at the forefront as the future arrives. My team and I began a project known as Reimagining Veteran Healthcare almost 2 years ago. Through the process of human-centered design, we've connected with hundreds of veterans and VA employees to learn about their experiences and hear their ideas for change. We have designed prototypes with them and are actively refining these ideas in different areas of the organization. But we're not the only ones who are doing this. Reimagining veteran healthcare has become a movement. It's become a drumbeat. It's the literal theme for this entire event. Reimagining veteran healthcare has become an open invitation for everyone to get involved in driving the future of VA today in their own unique and meaningful ways. You're going to hear a lot about this type of work over the course of this event, but make no mistake, this invitation is open to you as well. So how do you do this? Where do you begin? Reimagining takes a specific mindset, one that is open to everyone, and it is this mindset that I want to talk with you about today. I grew up in rural Vermont on a small family farm near the New Hampshire border. We grew a massive vegetable garden that produced the juiciest tomatoes, sun-warm and bursting on the tongue. We kept a handful of cows, 2 horses, some pigs, chickens, ducks, and yes, when winter would finally begin to give way to spring, we would gather the sap and boil it into the crowning jewel of Vermontiness, maple syrup. In the summertime, I was surrounded by all of the good farm smells, fresh earth and drying hay, the sweet sour tinge of composting manure, the riotous scents of my mother's perennial beds. In the summer of 1989, I was 7 years old. One day, my dad brought home the most beautiful rooster I had ever seen. His red head gave way to this gorgeous green-black iridescent plumage, then onto a fantastic spray of a tail that, while astounding, was not his most interesting feature. This rooster had no feet. I fell in love with him immediately, and being 7, gave him the rather unfortunate name of Stubbs. Stubbs was quickly picked on by all of the other chickens, so I spent days with him, tucked under my arm and against my hip. It gradually dawned on me, after a while, that this was not sustainable, me carrying him around everywhere, and he was still getting beat up at night. So I decided that there was only one solution. I was going to teach him how to fly. First, I tried from the ground. I tossed him up and he flapped down, attempted to land, but remember, no feet, so oof, chicken chin. So what do? Decide that I need to get higher up. That is clearly the problem. So I climbed on top of the fence and I tried again. And what did I get? Same result. Flapping, then chicken chin. In the infinite wisdom of 7-year-olds, I had decided that I had to double down in my efforts. Maybe if I threw him from higher up, should I climb up into the hayloft and go from there? As I retrieved my rooster and turned towards the barn, eyeballing the second-story hayloft, my dad, who I had not noticed watching me from the barn, asked me just what in the hell I was doing. I explained it to him, how Stubbs was being picked on by the other chickens and I couldn't protect him all the time, so I was teaching him how to fly. Now, my dad is one of those gruff on the outside, silly smooshy on the inside kind of guys. Clint Eastwood meets Teddy Ruxpin. So hearing this, he softened immediately. Well, he said, throwing the chicken in the air isn't working. What you might not know is that domesticated chickens won't fly. What else could you do? My dad helped me work through what the true problem was. It wasn't that Stubbs couldn't walk that well or he couldn't fly. It was that the other chickens were rejecting him and injuring him. Reframed this way, new opportunities to solve the problem opened. We decided to see if the ducks would accept him into their enclosure, a new experiment, and lo and behold, they did. Stubbs lived happily ever after. So what on earth does a chicken in the late 80s have to do with the massive complexity of the problems and opportunities that we face within our work across the Veterans Health Administration? I've been with the organization for almost 16 years and have witnessed a lot of attempts at change, both fly and flop. Many of the successes could have been failures, but they were saved by the same type of wisdom that I heard from my dad all of those years ago. Throwing the chicken in the air isn't working, but what else could you do? My dad first watched and waited to see what my experiments would yield, to see if I would figure it out for myself. When it became clear that I was going to double down in my efforts rather than reassess, and that there could be a real safety issue about to occur, he didn't yell at me or shut me down. He gently intervened and asked questions to get to the root of my line of thinking. Next, without judgment nor ego, he offered me knowledge that I lacked, followed by encouragement that I could find other ways to solve the problem. And then we came up with a new plan and tested it together. I want each of you to take a quick personal inventory and think about the times that someone had approached you with an idea or has tried throwing the chicken in the air and you, for whatever reason, shut it down. We've all done it. That won't work, or we've tried that before, that's not our job, or we don't do that. This is where a reimagining mindset comes into play. A mindset that invites us, problem solvers and bystanders alike, to become a coalition of change agents rather than individual bricks in a wall of failure. To allow a little safe chicken throwing to happen here and there, to encourage it even. We are on the precipice of what some very smart people call the Great Progression. A lot of things are changing and will continue to at an ever rapid pace. The future cannot be predicted, but it can be shaped. And we can choose to act rather than to constantly react. This is the reimagining mindset. Throwing the chicken in the air once or twice isn't inherently a bad thing. While it might not work, at least it's a start. And while I am happy to report that my approach to problem solving has been greatly refined over the years, there are plenty of times where I don't get it right, or when I witness others struggling too. And when that happens, my dad's words echo through. Throwing the chicken in the air isn't working. What else could you do? This, my friends, is the reimagining mindset. When we build each other up, try new things, change course when it becomes clear that the chicken won't fly, all while maintaining hope and belief that one day it just might. Thank you.